Let's just jump right in. If you're a medical student or a resident out there on the wards, you know exactly how overwhelming the sheer volume of information can be, right? So today, we're taking a highly targeted approach to a very common clinical challenge in this explainer: steroid equivalencies. Whether you're stepping a patient down from IV to oral meds, or you gotta swap something out because of, drug shortages, knowing these conversions is absolutely vital. We're gonna take what is usually a super confusing table of numbers and transform it into a slick mental map that you will literally never forget.
So picture the situation. You're on rounds, and your attending turns to you and asks you to switch a patient from one corticosteroid to another. Maybe it's because of drug availability or just a standard transition from an IV to an oral formulation. The real question is, how do we quickly and reliably calculate these steroid equivalencies on the fly without having to awkwardly break out our phones, scour the internet, or get lost in some clunky reference app? Well, the secret isn't rote memorization of disconnected facts. No way. The secret is spatial visual learning.
Okay, let's really dive into this. What we're looking at here is a brilliantly designed hub-and-spoke visual of steroid conversions. See, instead of a standard top-to-bottom spreadsheet that your brain just immediately wants to reject, this graphic uses color, proximity, and a central starting point to organize the data. It's like a giant puzzle, but we're giving you the cheat code. Today, we're going to break this exact map down into easily digestible, highly memorizable chunks. By the end of this explainer, I promise, you'll be able to close your eyes and literally see these exact circles.
Section 1. The dexamethasone base anchor.
Now, to build our mental map, we obviously need a strong foundation. Every good memory system relies on an anchor, right? A fixed point from which everything else is measured. So the absolutely crucial point here is establishing our anchor, 1 milligram of dexamethasone. Picture that bright blue circle sitting right in the center of the map. 1 milligram. This is our baseline. Whenever you're trying to calculate a conversion on the wards, I want you to mentally start right here at the number 1. From this single unit of dexamethasone, all of our other mathematical multipliers are going to radiate outward.
Section 2. The 1-to-1 equivalent. Moving on, if we look at the green circle, we see betamethasone, and this brilliantly illustrates how it sits in a perfect 1-to-1 parity with our dexamethasone anchor, a ×1 multiplier. That simply means 1 milligram of dexamethasone is perfectly equivalent to 1 milligram of betamethasone. They're essentially clinical twins when it comes to dosing equivalence. Anchor on 1, stay on 1. It's simple, elegant, and honestly incredibly easy to recall.
Section 3. The ×5 steroid group.
But hey, what happens when we need a larger dose equivalent? We aren't always going to be dealing with those 1-to-1 twins. So lock this number into your mind for sure. 5. This is our first major jump from the anchor. But instead of just one single medication sitting at this multiplier, we actually have a pair of them.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how we can use the psychological concept of chunking to our advantage. The red circle for triamcinolone and the purple circle for methylprednisolone both sit squarely at that ×5 multiplier. That means they both require a 5 milligram dose to equal the exact same clinical effect as our 1 milligram dexamethasone base. By grouping triamcinolone and methylprednisolone together in your memory under the umbrella of the 5s, you literally cut your cognitive load in half. So when you think of one, automatically think of the other.
Section 4. The ×7 conversion step.
Let's move along and see how this builds. Stepping up the mathematical ladder just once more, we move away from our paired medications to a singular, slightly higher dose requirement, and that is prednisolone. It requires a 7 milligram dose to match our original 1 milligram dexamethasone anchor, so it's a ×7 multiplier. And notice how it sits all alone in its category on this chart. The number 7 is, a bit of an odd prime number, which actually makes it stand out beautifully in your memory palace. Just remember 7 prednisolone.
Section 5. The high-dose outlier.
All right, finally, we have to prepare for a massive jump in our numerical conversion rate. Every solid dataset has an extreme outlier, and for our common steroid map, this next medication is absolutely it. 30. Just take a second to appreciate the sheer scale of that number compared to where we started. We've gone from 1 to 5 to 7, and now all the way up to 30. Hydrocortisone requires a massive 30 milligrams to give you the exact same effect as just 1 milligram of our dexamethasone base. It is the highest number on our chart by a long shot, making it the undeniable heavyweight outlier.
Section 6. The summary matrix.
Okay, so now we're going to synthesize all of those scattered, colorful visual nodes into a clean, linear, totally screenshot-worthy study guide. Let's walk through this matrix right from top to bottom, because you know, repetition is the mother of retention. We start with our base, dexamethasone at 1 milligram. Right next to it, our twin, betamethasone at 1 milligram, the times 1 multiplier. Next up, our pair of fives, triamcinolone and methylprednisolone, both requiring 5 milligrams. Then we step up to the solitary 7, prednisone at 7 milligrams. And finally, our massive outlier right at the bottom, hydrocortisone, requiring a 30 milligram dose.
By organizing this information visually, starting from a central anchor and moving out to its multipliers, you've completely transformed a chore of memorization into a totally logical system. You're no longer just guessing. It's like you're navigating a map. So my challenge to you is this. Which of these conversion multipliers will you actively use first on your next hospital rotation? Because the next time a steroid order comes up, don't reach for your phone. Reach for this mental map instead. Test yourself, trust the structure, and keep learning.